Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I am so thankful that you decided to join me here in the Room to Room Weather Center as we wrap up what has been a beautiful Thanksgiving break all across North Mississippi. But I also know it is a school night, it is a work night, and we have to get ready for the work week ahead. So let's just jump right into this broadcast and get you ready as we prepare for the work week ahead. But we will have a soggy start to December. Tomorrow is December 1st, definitely starting to get into the Christmas season. It will be a rainy day, a soggy day, pretty much all day long. Once we hit lunchtime and on, we'll be covering the timing of that as well. But speaking of Christmas season, those cold conditions, they are matching the season as well. We're seeing these really chilly conditions pretty much into your Monday, Tuesday, throughout the rest of the work week, which brings us to our last headline as well. Below average work week ahead. This isn't just kind of a next few days type of ordeal. Our whole 7-day forecast kind of showing those below average conditions as we get ready for December here in North Mississippi. But let's take some live looks all across North Mississippi tonight. This is out in Crenshaw, 36 degrees, feels like 36. Always a good thing when we see those temperatures, feels like values match, because come tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit cooler than what those temperatures are reading outdoors. And what's responsible for these feeling the exact same? Not much of a wind component out there, not very breezy at all. That will change come tomorrow, and especially with those rainy conditions, not going to make a good pair. But out here in Blue Springs, 36 degrees. Here we go. Feels like 27. That is almost a 10-degree difference, and that is because you have not only a major wind component, but it's coming out of the north. That's bringing that cooler continental air. That's coming in around 13. Nope, just switched to 12 miles per hour. So that is what's going to make you feel cooler than what the temperature is reading outdoors. And pair that with some rainy conditions tomorrow. Whew, it will be a brisk day throughout your Monday. But let's take another live look out here in Aberdeen. 39, feels like 35, even wind component around 6 miles per hour coming out of the north, dropping you 4 degrees as well. But beautiful conditions, cloudy conditions, but a great way to wrap up our break as we get ready for the work week ahead. The first 12 shows these cloudy conditions pretty much continuing into the overnight hours. Temperatures around 33 degrees by 11 o'clock, slowly making our way down towards 30, upper 20s for some, before slowly warming back up. And I feel like warming back up isn't the right word. We are going to feel cold pretty much all day tomorrow. And then we see those rain chances start slowly making their way back into the forecast as well in the first 12, starting to pop up a little bit around lunchtime. But basically, once we have our lunch break, get ready for the afternoon hours ahead, we're going to see rainy conditions from that point on as we wrap up our Monday. But for right now, we're enjoying dry conditions. Our Mississippi Live Weather Radar showing nothing here on the radar, not active at all, which is a good thing as we wrap up our evening tonight. Trust tomorrow we will have a lot to talk about, especially during 5, 6, and even into the 10 o'clock broadcast time. But not much rain going on down here in the southeast, especially not able to see what will start making its way towards us here in North Mississippi. But what's responsible for these cooler conditions is two things. One, that cold front. This blew on through, I believe it was last night with those rain chances, kind of bringing in that cooler air, but also this high pressure system. I mentioned this during 6 o'clock, but I didn't really draw it out, and I've always loved using these tools. High pressure system, like we keep talking about, spins clockwise, and it's bringing in that cooler continental air. You see all that snow going up north in the United States, but think of how cold it is up there. It's just bringing all that cooler air down here to North Mississippi, and that's what's making us feel a lot cooler than what those temperatures are reading outdoors, especially when we talk about that northerly wind component. That's what's making us feel colder, and that's going to be the case as we go about our Monday tomorrow. But Futurecast showing these cloudy conditions all across North Mississippi, pretty much the Twin States in general, seeing a blanket all across us as we continue into the overnight hours. They're going to stay pretty consistent, not really seeing any breaks in the clouds, but there are those rain chances slowly creeping their way towards North Mississippi. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, not really seeing those rain chances. Those models still pushing them back. I told you last night that it was trying to put some for 7, 8, 9 o'clock. I was still expecting to stay dry, even into the lunchtime hour. I think from that point on, then we start seeing those rainy conditions. They still got a ways to go, kind of crossing into Louisiana, and pushing into Mississippi as well, but still dry by those early morning hours. It's not until lunchtime and on where those rain chances pretty much on the doorstep as well. We're going to hit the southern portions of our state first before sweeping in. You can start seeing Greenville, southern portions of the Delta, starting to get those showers along the Mississippi River. That's around lunchtime, but from that point on, we're going to see those soggy conditions continue. And the forecasted rainfall for tomorrow, not anything major. We're not expecting anything severe. We're not even in the thunderstorm category for tomorrow. So those yellow, oranges, and reds you see later on this broadcast, just showing pretty much heavier downpours, maybe a rumble of thunder, but this is still stress-free rain, like what I like to call it. just something to kind of nag at us as we go about our Monday plans. But forecasted rainfall, the best we can see is 1/4 of an inch, especially out there in the Delta, trying to do a streak across North Mississippi, but most of us only receiving 1/10 of an inch, so nothing major, just going to be a dreary, soggy day ahead. And the next 24 hours shows us that perfectly. We're starting off dry with temperatures around 30 degrees by 6 o'clock, but as we continue into the day ahead, those rain chances are going to start increasing as well. I mean, you're starting off around 10% by 12, but we're jumping up towards 60% by 9 o'clock, seeing those rain changes continue to push all across North Mississippi. It will be a rainy Monday pretty much all day long post lunchtime. But of course, I want to track out when we're going to see those rain chances, what time, where, and when as we go about our Monday, so you are best prepared for the day ahead. Make sure you have those layers ready, but definitely that rain jacket and umbrella handy as well. But coming up in 1 minute, we also have our Will Kohlmeyer to give you the very latest on that news happening all across North Mississippi, just in case you haven't heard it yet. All that's coming up in 1 minute.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I'm your retirement fear, but don't be scared. You're still in pre-tirement.
Does that mean I have more time to plan?
Precisely. This is pretirement.org.
This isn't scary. I'm doing it.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Well, welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. Taking a live look out here in Adenton, 37 degrees, but feels like 37 as well. And that's because we're not really having much of a wind component. But also, take a look at these conditions. We're talking about these cloudy conditions heading overnight, that blanket all across North Mississippi. But what these clouds really are happening above us are these thin, wispy clouds occurring all the way up in the top of the troposphere. This is super high above us, very high in elevation, not really providing much cover typically from sunlight as you go about your day, but you can kind of see some stars trying to peek through. So these just showing how thin and wispy these are in nature, but still encompassing all of Starkville and Adenton out there in the Golden Triangle region. But like I mentioned earlier, got to wake up this computer because it's been too long since I've used it. Wanted to show y'all the latest look and kind of the details on what Will Kohlmeyer was covering with Lane Kiffin and his coaching decision. Take a look at this.
Hello and welcome to a very chilly Starkville, Mississippi. We are just outside the stadium here at Mississippi State, where this would be the last place that Lane Kiffin will ever coach an Ole Miss football team. Of course, Kiffin and the Rebels took care of Mississippi State on Friday to win the latest renewal of the Egg Bowl. A lot has happened since then, though, right? Today, Kiffin on his way to LSU. Of course, everybody knows that by now. And Keith Carter didn't waste long, very much time at all, to name not just as an interim coach, but as a full-time replacement. Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator for Ole Miss, becomes the head coach. And here's a nice nugget. This is very interesting. The last time LSU poached a coach, remember they got Brian Kelly from Notre Dame. What did Notre Dame do? They promoted their defensive coordinator, Marcus Freeman, and it was Freeman that led the Irish to a national title game. Could we have an instant replay? Can Pete Golding do what Marcus Freeman did when LSU grabbed Kelly from Notre Dame and brought him to Baton Rouge? Now LSU has taken Kiffin away from Ole Miss. He's the new Tiger head coach. And now can Golding lead the Rebels to a national title game? Of course, there's a lot of meat left on the bone before they get to that point. But we'll see. That's just kind of an interesting storyline there that kind of developed that I thought I would throw your way. But and by the way, the reason why I'm here at Mississippi State and not at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, I was on the MSU campus earlier this afternoon. I had the broadcast, had the call of a Mississippi State women's basketball win over ULM, an SEC Network Plus broadcast. So that's why I'm here and not in Oxford. But I figured this was the last place that Kiffin coached Ole Miss in his tenure with the Rebels. But that's the story here from Starkville, and Lane Kiffin on his way to LSU. Pete Golding, a very happy replacement, the defensive coordinator, now head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Well, another big thanks to our Will Colmeyer for giving us the latest look at that. And I know many of us have heard the news, but definitely been a looming cloud, especially for those up in Oxford, North Mississippi, all those Rebels fans. So I know we are a little bit bummed out about the news, but definitely going to be rooting for him as he takes his talents to LSU and know that he'll do his best, but makes those LSU and Ole Miss games in the future a little bit more cinematic. So definitely looking forward to those. But coming back to the weather aspect of this broadcast, current conditions right now, this is out in Tupelo, temperature around 36 degrees. And here's that perfect example. Feels like 28. I'm telling you, a steep drop, and there we go. What's the correlation? That northerly wind component coming out of the north, around 11 miles per hour, allowing us to feel a lot cooler, pumping in that cooler continental Arctic air. But coming back to Futurecast, here are those blanket of cloud cover. It's still very thin and wispy in nature. You don't really see that here on Futurecast just with how thick it looks, but really thin in nature is what's happening above us. But this is in play right now. This is tracking midnight and on. Not really seeing much of a change with this cloud cover as we continue into the morning hours, still staying dry towards 6 o'clock as well. That's going to continue into 7, 8, 9 o'clock, but getting ahead of myself. We'll get to that in just a second. But those low temperatures going to be a chilly night. Pretty much low 30s, upper 20s for most of us here in North Mississippi. 28 in Oxford and Water Valley, 28 South Haven, Tunica, 30 Clarksdale, 33 in Cleveland. Coming back towards the east, 33 in Starkville, 31 Amory, 28 Hamilton, Red Bay, Iuka, and Boonville as well. Oh, even 26 up there in Corinth as well. Going to be a chilly night overnight. And like I mentioned during the 6 o'clock broadcast, it is unfortunately another school day and work day here, or work night here in North Mississippi. Got to get ready for the school and work day ahead. So drop off going to be a chilly drop off. 31 degrees, seeing those mostly cloudy conditions, but also mostly dry before that rain starts to move in around lunchtime and post lunchtime, really sweeping across North Mississippi. Almost all of us are going to see a chance to see those showers. So let's try to visualize that right here with Futurecast. We can already see those rain changes out in Arkansas. Some trying to move into the southern portions of Delta, not really believing in that by 8 o'clock. But once we get towards 11, 12, then we really start seeing those rain chances move in, especially just on the outside of Greenville, still in Arkansas, moving across the Mississippi River, Belzona, Greenwood as well. This is around 12:30, those rain chances starting to move into North Mississippi. But notice, as we go into the afternoon and evening hours, instead of cloud cover blanketing us, we're just seeing rain chances blanket us as well. Notice we still see those red, oranges, yellow, not really expecting anything severe by any means, not even in the thunderstorm category that the SPC has issued. So these are pretty much going to be heavy downpours across North Mississippi. Can't rule out a rumble of thunder or two, but this is still stress-free rain as we go about our Monday. But even towards the 5, 6 o'clock broadcast hour, still going to be talking about lots of rain occurring all across North Mississippi. So it'll be a busy broadcast tomorrow, but still just some much needed rain, a soggy start to December, but nothing to worry about. Just got to make sure we have that rain jacket and umbrella handy. But those high temperatures definitely not going to be high tomorrow. Still below average, feeling very cool, pretty much low 40s all across North Mississippi. 42 in New Albany and Boonville, 40 Holly Springs, 44 in Eupora, 42 Grenada and Greenwood. But we're going to feel a lot cooler than what those temperatures are reading outdoors. South Haven coming in at 31 degrees, Tunica 30. So pretty much almost upper 20s. That wind, rain, not going to be a good combo as you go about your day. So like I keep mentioning, have those layers and pretty much stay inside as much as you can tomorrow, because it will just be a soggy, miserable day outside. And this is exactly why. Coming back to Futurecast, still showing those rain changes all across North Mississippi. This is going to continue into the evening hours and partly the overnight hours as well. This is midnight, but notice all those rain changes pretty much behind me in Alabama, starting to break up just a little bit, but still seeing some last minute moisture move across our area. But once we get into the early AM hours, we are starting to see drier conditions, but still having those cloudy conditions as well as we get up ready for our Tuesday. This time, not going to be paired with soggy conditions, just keeping that cloud cover as well. But thankfully, by the time we reach lunchtime and after, we're seeing clearer conditions as well, starting to break up completely, starting to see those nice sunny conditions, eventually sunset by 6:30 and even post sunset. Going to be nice clear skies overnight. Into your early Wednesday morning hours, not really seeing anything to track out here on Futurecast. Going to be a dry pattern for your Tuesday and Wednesday before it switches up just a little bit for your Thursday and Friday. But those high temperatures, maybe slightly warmer, pretty much the exact same. Low 40s all across North Mississippi. I would say slightly warmer. We're seeing more low 40s, upper 30s as compared to mid 30s. 38 in Holly Springs, Senatobia, Tunica, and South Haven. 39 Clarksdale and Cleveland. 42 Greenwood, 43 in Eupora, Starkville, 44 down there in Macon as well. Those feels like values still keeping the same trend, going to be a little bit cooler than what we are feeling outdoors, and that's just due to that wind component, but thankfully starting to die down just a little bit by the time we make it to Tuesday. But that 7-day forecast shows a soggy start to December tomorrow. 60% chance of rain pretty much all day once we reach lunchtime and on. And then Tuesday, let's imagine a 10% there just because it goes into your 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But post that, we're seeing drier conditions and going to be a dry Tuesday all around, seeing a clearing take place in the afternoon and evening hours, sticking around throughout your Wednesday as well before those rain chances come back into the forecast for your Thursday and Friday on the back half of your Thursdays, hence why we have that 20% as of right now and more involved into your Friday before a drier weekend comes back into place here in North Mississippi. But I've enjoyed another weekend here with y'all here in North Mississippi and also enjoyed Thanksgiving break with y'all. Want to double check on the comments before we wrap this up. Denver 20, Washington 17. I know that Sunday night game is going on right now. Looks like Patty was maybe describing our favorite weather conditions. If so, I think you nailed mine. I'm always a fan of little rainy conditions, especially if I'm inside. If it's rainy outdoors, not a fan of it. But if I get to enjoy and be lazy indoors, perfect weather. Yep. All right. Well, I think y'all have all had a great weekend. Looks like we're also watching some football tonight as well, rooting for our respective teams. I hope everyone won this weekend, especially with rivalries going on all across North Mississippi. But coming back to the weather aspect, we want to make sure to stay updated. Here's the Mississippi Live weather app. This is for both iOS and Android. Same app, no differences between the two, but we appreciate all the support you give us to make sure we can continue to keep that top notch for all of you guys out there and make sure to send you alerts and let you know when rain's coming, especially if you are outdoors. Want to get indoors really quick, we'll make sure to let you know as that rain continues to get closer and closer here to North Mississippi. But we'll be live tomorrow going back towards our weekday schedule. That'll be at 6:30, 7, and 7:30 in the morning with our meteorologist Maggie McCauley ready to wake up early with you and get you ready to walk out of the door. And then, of course, we'll have our chief meteorologist, Matt Laubon, and meteorologist Gabe Maynard back here in the studio at 5, 6, and 10, definitely talking about those rainy conditions as well. But until then, enjoy the rest of y'all's pretty much Thanksgiving break, the last few hours, and have a great Monday tomorrow. Stay warm, stay dry as best as y'all can with y'all's umbrellas, and I'll see y'all again here next weekend, and we'll see y'all back here in the Room to Room Weather Center tomorrow.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.